start off today, I'd like to ask you all a question. What is the most important aspect to the development of a child? Well, it's water, but you can't exactly write a 5-minute speech on water now, can you? However, the second most important aspect to the development of a child is nutrients, but talking to you all about the importance of cell respiration for 5 minutes would most likely bore you to death. However, in my very, very, very unprofessional opinion, the third most important aspect to the development of children is loving them through nurturing them and caring for them. Now, there are of course numerous factors that contribute to this, not least of which is simply our parents or the environment we live in. However, one factor is often unfairly overlooked. A factor that brings forth the origins of our creativity and imagination. A feature of our childhoods that guided us through many sleepless nights and showed great valor in protecting us from whatever lay beneath our beds at night. I am, of course, talking about toys. Time and time again, research has shown that toys are instrumental in not only the healthy development of children, but in caring for them and showing them what they truly want out of this thing we call life. However, I particularly want to talk to you about toys today as, from what I've seen, toys are slowly becoming overlooked within our society, as kids today are now more interested in more immediate forms of entertainment, such as YouTube. So, today, I'm here to shine a light on the brave bed warriors that are our toys, and tell you why they are essential in the healthy development of children. Now, as silly as it sounds, toys are an aspect of our lives that have made us who we are today. Within Western culture, toys have become a pinnacle aspect to the emotional development of children. Now, numerous factors make up how our emotional intelligence develops, from our basic biology all the way up to our complex social interactions. And, in my experience, a profound understanding of the Wiggles after my 103rd rendition of Hot Potato, widely considered my best work. However, I find toys to be a unique aspect to emotional development, as they act as the first teachers of emotional intelligence. Today, the world we live in can be volatile, stressful, and simply exhausting. With the looming doom of issues like climate change and economic crisis, it's easy to see why issues like depression are on the rise. And now, I'm not going to stand here and try to convince you that handing out a bunch of Lego Death Stars would solve such complex and intricate problems. Although, if you're listening, Lego, I would happily spearhead such research. But in all seriousness, I do believe solving our mental health crisis starts by analysing the root cause of them, poor emotional intelligence. And this is where, I believe, our sovereign protectors of sleep come into play. Research has shown that children use toys to learn how to express emotion and practice human interaction safely. Now, before I continue, allow me to address what you're all probably thinking. Duh! Of course having kids be able to learn how to express emotions safely is important for their development. However, not learning these intricate and complex processes often results in various adverse complications later in life. Complications such as difficulty making friends, poor social skills, or just a general experience of extreme emotions like anger and anxiety, all of which can lead to aggressive behaviour. And let me tell you something, all of this is what leads to the waves of depression and mass anxiety so many of us are currently experiencing within our culture today. Too often, when assessing the causes of our mental problems, do we forget the most basic lessons we all learned at such a young age: the self-regulation of emotions and the natural empathy that storytelling builds within our psyche. Much like the ship of Theseus, who we are is constantly changing. From surface level changes such as our appearance to the more important aspects of ourselves, like our identity. However, perhaps the most important aspects of ourselves that is ever changing is our cognition. This is perhaps the most rapidly changing aspect of ourselves during development, especially when we are young. And one of the pivotal harbingers of this change is toys. As from a very early age, toys accompany us and allow us to rehearse our personality and project our fears. However, where toys particularly shine in the development of cognition is creative thinking. Toys often work to spark creativity within children by guiding them to think of what could be instead of what is. Take Lego, for example. Instead of just providing children with the finished product ready to be enjoyed, Lego's innovative approach gives children a choice between following the instructions or building another really bad spaceship. Now, I'm joking, of course, but it's important to note that when I was 5, I thought all my Lego spaceships put NASA to shame, and I was free to think this because they weren't attached to any scale of achievement or goal like video games often are. Children need play experiences that teach them to value their ideas and think outside of the box. And toys often work to ignite the spark of creativity that is held deep within each and every one of us. And I certainly know that I wouldn't be the same person I am today if it weren't for my toys. Now, let me tell you about Highway Frog. During the summer of 2007, I visited my grandfather in the countryside. One day, whilst out for a walk with my family, we stumbled across a green little velvet frog lying on the side of the highway. Almost immediately, we all started crafting an origin story for this mysterious amphibian family member. How did he get there? Where did he come from? Why did he have small holes in his side that my mother promised to mend but never actually did? And over the years, through my imagination alone, Highway Frog developed the iconic status of a legendary folklore hero and sought to aid me in developing my imagination and creativity, just as so many other toys have for so many others. It is a sad world we live in sometimes, as despite what I've said here today, I see some parents content with letting their children sit in the corner and play with the toy that plays the parent's role, such as the ubiquitous iPad with internet games on tap. You see, I didn't need Mum's credit card to play with Highway Frog, and because he didn't talk to me, all the conversation came from my imagination, which, unlike mobile games on tap, aided me in my later life. And don't misunderstand me, when I say this, I simply aim to shed light on an aspect of all our childhoods that I believe have unfortunately become thankless, forgotten heroes. So, next time you're cleaning out a box of some of your old stuff and you stumble across some old, cherished toys, remember, they made you who you are today. Thank you.